Just ahead on CTV News.
The inauguration is just days away, and major changes have just been announced to the swearing-in ceremony and the inaugural parade. I'm Katara Jones. I'll have everything you need to know coming up on CTV News.
More snow could be on the horizon in this holiday weekend. I'm Bryce Parker. We'll have more coming up on CTV News.
Plus, we hear from the lawmakers on the governor's budget proposal. Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for January 17th. I'm Mariah Jalad. Thanks for joining us. Well, the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump will now be moved indoors. This move comes as we prepare for frigid temperatures in the region. At the same time, hundreds of thousands of people are expected to flock to the district for the big event. Visitors can expect tight security around the Capitol, as well as road and metro station closures. CTV's Katara Jones is outside of the new Carrollton Metro Station with everything you need to know about getting around this weekend.
That's right. With dozens of road closures planned on Inauguration Day, getting into D.C. may be difficult if you do not plan ahead. And one of the best ways to get to the swearing-in ceremony or even the inaugural parade is to take Metro. Now, we have just learned that the swearing-in ceremony will be moved inside the U.S. Capitol Rotunda due to the extremely cold temperatures expected on Monday. President-elect Donald Trump posted onto social media this afternoon that the inaugural parade will also be moved indoors to Capital One Arena. Now, to accommodate the crowds, metro stations will open at 4 a.m. on Monday, January 20th. But the security will be tight, and there will be several metro stations that will be closed. Now, beginning Sunday, January 19th at 8 p.m. until Tuesday, January 21st at 5 in the morning, 5 metro stations will be closed. Those stations include McPherson Square, Federal Triangle, Smithsonian, Mount Vernon Square Convention Center, and Archives Navy Memorial. Pentagon Metro Station will also be closed to riders, but only on Monday, January 20th. WMATA plans to reopen all metro stations beginning on January 21st at 5 a.m. Again, with dozens of road closures planned around the U.S. Capitol, the Convention Center where the inaugural ball will take place, as well as Capital One Arena for the victory rally and the inaugural parade, we ask that you just please plan your trip ahead. Katara Jones, CTV News.
Thanks, Katara. And to learn more about the road closures on Inauguration Day, you can visit the National Park Service website. And if you have some errands to run this holiday weekend, you may want to consider crossing off everything on your to-do list before Sunday, because snow is back in the forecast this weekend, and CTV's Bryce Parker is in Largo to tell us how the county is preparing for the weather.
So Mariah, if you walk along any road or sidewalk in the county, you can see that we still have a lot of snow and ice that have accumulated from the last winter storm that we experienced. And as the MLK Jr. holiday weekend approaches, meteorologists expect snow to accompany it as well, causing county residents and the Department of Public Works and Transportation to brace for the winter weather ahead.
Right now, most models project up to 4 inches of snowfall on Sunday. And here in Prince George's County, the Department of Public Works and Transportation are gearing up for what is ahead.
So we're doing the pre-preparations that we're letting staff know what times they have to come in. We're going to have staff come in on both Saturday and Sunday. We want to hit our trouble areas that we've noticed in our residential areas that we've, with this past event with the tremendous amount of ice. So we want to hit those areas to get them set up for success.
Many county residents believe that the county's handling of the last winter storm was unsatisfactory. But DPW&T believes that they can assure county residents that they've got the upcoming storm handled.
We heard them, and we've made preparations to take care of the icy areas. We have the special additive magnesium chloride to be able to add should we get some of the different troubled, extreme icy areas. But we believe we're doing the pre-treatment on Saturday, that should help take care of those troubled areas.
Last week, PGCPS students missed 4 consecutive days of school due to dangerous road conditions. Every year, PGCPS accounts for 5 inclement weather days in their calendar in the event that the weather influences academic instruction. The 4 days students will now have to make up are February 14th, June 16th, June 17th, and June 18th. And if Sunday's forecast results in no school on Tuesday, a 5th makeup day will be implemented on March 17th. In Largo, I'm Bryce Parker, CTV News.
Thanks, Bryce. And right now, DPW&T expects the snow to begin falling Sunday at 7 a.m. And the dust is settling on Governor Wes Moore's 2026 budget proposal. Now it's up to the legislature to pass it. Of course, that won't happen without their fair share of input and changes. While some delegates have already voiced issues with the plan's cuts and tax increases, Senate President Bill Ferguson says he appreciates the governor's approach.
The vision that he had for the budget introduction was the right one, focusing on living within our means first, adjusting revenues in a progressive way, in a targeted way, and then the transfers that are necessary to kind of fill some of the gap. So it was about a 40% for cuts, 40% in revenues, and the remainder in transfers. And I think that was the right vision from which to start the conversation. We know we have a long way to go from here. But I feel confident that we're starting from the right spot of a balanced approach that's targeted and thoughtful.
The plan will now go to the House of Delegates for the first round of changes. And that proposed budget would cut more than $100 million in state funding from the University System of Maryland. Under the governor's proposed budget, the system would only get $2.21 billion in state funding, down from $2.32 billion in the current fiscal year. In his proposal presentation, Moore mentioned that four-year institutions would be one of the sectors seeing cuts in the new budget after receiving a surplus of funding in the past. And Governor Wes Moore was a fundraising powerhouse as he pulled in millions in 2024, traveling across the country campaigning for his Democratic colleagues. His campaign committee reported more than $4 million in his state campaign bank account by January 8th. Moore's campaign also helped raise millions for other Democratic causes, including millions of dollars for the Maryland Democratic Party. Moore has pulled in contributions from some big names, including entertainment industry titans, business CEOs, and celebrities. Well, it's bad news for TikTok. The Supreme Court unanimously decided the federal law is constitutional, setting into motion a ban on the social media app beginning Sunday, unless it's sold by its China-based parent company. The ruling says the national security risk from parent company ByteDance's ties to China outweighs concerns about restricting speech from the app and its 170 million U.S. users. A sale does not appear to be happening anytime soon, and although experts have said the app won't just disappear from your phone once the law takes effect, updates won't be available, eventually making the app unusable. And as President Joe Biden's term enters its final days, he releases another round of pardons and sentence commutations, once again setting the record for the biggest single-day act of clemency. Today, Biden commuted the sentences of nearly 2,500 people convicted of nonviolent drug offenses. In a statement, Biden said those people were serving disproportionately long sentences compared to what they would receive today under current law. Biden has now issued more individual pardons and commutations than any other president in U.S. history. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Mariah Jalad. Still to come.
A grieving daughter is calling for justice nearly 16 years after her father was killed right here in his own home. I'm Sierra Jackson. I'll have that story and more tonight on CTV News.
I just knew that I wasn't the high-performing person I used to be. Pieces of my past are being erased. I was lucky we caught this at the very earliest stages. I hope that my story can give other people hope. There is life to be lived. Increasingly, there will be treatments. We need to invest even more in research and finding treatments and cures. If your loved one or you yourself are sitting there thinking, something is wrong, I'm not who I used to be, you can get some answers and you can get them for free.
Welcome back. A tragic scene involving a Metro bus crashing into a building leaves the driver dead this morning. WMATA reports the bus was on its F4 route when it crashed near Queensberry Road and Rhode Island Avenue. Witnesses share the bus hit a tree, then a bench and a different building before finally crashing into this vacant building. There were 6 passengers on board, and fortunately, none were reported injured. WMATA says the driver was experiencing a medical emergency at the time of the crash. He was taken to an area hospital where he later died. And an arrest has been made in the New Year's Day shooting that left a rideshare driver dead. With the help of Winchester Police, Prince George's officers were able to find and charge 21-year-old Brandon Leonard Wednesday for the murder of 36-year-old Oluwatosin Adetola. On January 1st, PGPD found Adetola in a Cottage City parking lot, suffering from gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital and died of his injuries on January 7th. Detectives believe Leonard was trying to rob Adetola. Leonard remains in Winchester pending extradition to Prince George's. Well, a report by ProjectColdCase.org says that Maryland currently has more than 8,900 unsolved cases. Today, one local woman is speaking out after 16 years of trying to find out who killed her father. CTV's Sierra Jackson has the story.
Nobody said anything. To this day, nobody has said anything.
In 2009, Willie Jones was killed right here in his own home. Today, his daughter is still calling for justice nearly 20 years later.
It all started a February morning when Laverne Jones couldn't reach her father by phone.
So I said, let me just leave here and go over here to check on him.
What came next was every daughter's worst nightmare.
I pushed the door open and went in. I saw the light in the living room. So as I walked in the door, I said, Dad. And usually he'll say, hey, or yay, or whatever. He didn't say anything. Again, I didn't see any blood. So when I pushed the door open again, I saw him laying on the bed on his back. And before I saw the blood, I saw a sheet. The sheet was from waist up. And before I even saw the blood, like I said, the carpet was multicolored, so you really couldn't see it. When I saw that the sheet was laying on him, it was like he was swimming in a pool of blood. It was like a lot of blood. It was like drippings and absorbing of blood. The blood was just everywhere. I couldn't believe it. I left out the room, ran out the door, passed out in the yard.
Laverne says till this day, her father's case is unsolved and feels there was negligence from the detective involved since day one.
I remember the call came in to Detective Rodriguez, and I remember him saying verbatim, this was the night of his wedding anniversary, and he had to leave his house to come here. Why would you say that? My father was just heinously murdered, but this is your anniversary, this is your job.
Willie's good friend and pastor, Reverend Dr. George A. Fitzgerald, says this death was shocking as they knew each other for decades.
He wasn't a violent person. You know, we worked together, I know a good 25 years, you know, he and I, and we never had an argument. You know, he was just a fun, loving guy who loved his family. It just breaks my heart even to talk about him because he's that type of guy, you know, who loved people, would do anything for you that he could.
Now, as the anniversary of his death is nearing, Laverne still has hope that someone will come forward with what happened to Willie Jones.
He let his killer in. You know, whoever did it, he knew his killer. And someone around here knows something. it's like I said before, the street is busy. People walking, talking, somebody knows something. All I want is help. I'm not asking for a lot, I just want help. I mean, it's not gonna bring him back, but it might give me some solace one day. I might find peace. I mean, I just don't know. I just need help. Somebody knows something.
Sierra Jackson, CTV News.
And CTV has reached out to Prince George's police about this case. We have not heard back at this time. If anyone knows who killed Willie Jones or has any information that could help solve this case, they're urged to contact Crime Solvers at 1-866-411-TIPS. And Maryland is breaking records for health insurance enrollments. Nearly 250,000 residents signed up for health coverage through Maryland Health Connection for 2025. That's up 16% from last year. Enrollment by young adults, Blacks, and Hispanic communities saw double-digit increases thanks to targeted outreach and subsidies. New legislation could make subsidies for young adults permanent. Officials say this growth helps lower costs for all enrollees while expanding access.
30% of all of our enrollees are what we classify as young adults. The reason why that is important is that typically individuals between the age of 18 and 37 are lower utilizers of very costly medical care. And so it helps offset those costs across what we call the entire population of everyone enrolled. And it makes health coverage more affordable for everyone. I think the reason that it has grown so successfully is, again, the advantage of our young adult subsidy program.
Even though open enrollment has ended, Marylanders can still sign up for coverage year-round when they face life changes like marriage or job loss. Visit marylandhealthconnection.gov for more information. Well, millions of people got stimulus checks from the government in the height of the COVID pandemic. But if you didn't receive one, it could soon be coming. The Internal Revenue Service announced that if you were eligible to receive a check and did not, it should be coming by the end of the month. More than $2 billion in payments were sent out in December, and you can look out for them in the mail or in your online bank account. The IRS says information from taxpayers' 2023 tax returns was used to route the payments. And the Seat Pleasant Police Department is mourning the loss of a beloved retired canine. Canine Pete was rushed to the veterinary hospital yesterday morning due to an unknown medical condition and sadly died. He joined the department in 2018 and retired last August. Canine Pete was partnered with Sergeant Lee and was certified in patrol, controlled dangerous substance detection, and SWAT operations. Still to come on CTV News, we take a look at what's happening around the DMV this weekend. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions. Telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Welcome back. Bowie drivers, beware as the Bowie Police Department is relocating some speed cameras. A total of 12 speed cameras will be located throughout the city, 7 in residential areas and 5 within school zones. This effort is part of the Safe Speed Camera program, which is intended to influence driver behavior and decrease the number of speeding citations enforced in the long run. You can find the full list of speed camera locations at the City of Bowie website. And it's that time of year again where Prince George's police will take on the polar bear plunge. Officers will dive into the freezing waters at Sandy Point State Park to raise funds for Special Olympics Maryland. The department is trying to reach their $5,000 goal and as of right now only raised $307. So they're urging the public to donate and join the fun by either cheering them on from the sidelines or signing up to dive in yourself. The event will take place Friday, January 31st at 9 a.m. Well, are you looking for a career change? A new report says the best job for the second year in a row is nurse practitioner. U.S. News and World Report says that's based on the job's critical role in health management, the job's flexibility, and its strong 10-year career outlook. Not your speed. Number 2 on the list is IT manager, followed by physician's assistant, financial manager, and software engineer. Most of those jobs are in STEM due to a couple of factors, including high pay and the likelihood the job fields will continue to grow. The report uses data from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics to develop those rankings. And there's a few events happening around the county this coming holiday where you can celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. through service. On Monday, Councilmember Walla Blagay is hosting a service day for sickle cell patients, packing care kits at Capital Region Health. And in Greenbelt, volunteers can work with public works staff to protect native trees from animals and invasive vines at Buddy Attic Park. And for even more action over the holiday weekend, let's toss it to Brittany Aaliyah with a sneak peek of what you can do.
Happy Friday, everyone. Let's kick this weekend off right with tonight's big event. The soulful and talented Leela James will be performing at the MGM National Harbor Theater tonight. And her special guest, Jay Brown, will also be in the building. And in honor of Martin Luther King Jr., the 20th annual MLK Holiday DC Peace Walk and Parade is also taking place this Saturday. But due to the winter weather impact, the organizers have decided to host the event indoors at the Entertainment and Sports Arena. You can still keep warm and celebrate MLK and his legacy the right way. And it's a football weekend. The Battle of the Beltway duos will both be taking place on the field this weekend, starting with our very own Commanders going up against the Lions this Saturday at 8 p.m. And the Ravens are really hyping it up with a watch party and concert with DJ Quicksilver and Friends R&B Live featuring Carl Thomas. It's going down this Sunday at Iconic Live starting at 6 p.m. And check this out because I think this is a really cool twist. It's a Ravens watch party first, and then immediately after the game, it turns into a concert. Carl Thomas will be hitting the stage performing some of your favorite throwback hits. And come on, you gotta love Carl Thomas. Switching gears a bit, where are all my new school hip hop heads? Guess who's coming to the Fillmore this Sunday? Shy Glizzy and No Savage. Both of them are taking the stage, so if you're a fan like me, make sure you get your tickets and go check them out because Young Hefe and Savage never disappoint. So from concerts and NFL games to MLK celebrations and inaugural balls, this weekend is jam-packed with action in and around the DMV. Have a fun weekend, everyone, and I'll see you all next week on What's the Move?
Thanks, Brittany. And now Simon Buggs is here with our Friday sports page. Simon.
What's up, sports fans? Are you itching for some high school hoops highlights? Well, if so, then you're in luck, as I have that and more coming up on CTV Sports. Stay tuned.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that the big homie needs help too. You can't just rebound from everything. I know you've been grinding.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. I wonder why we waited so long. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind. Let's see how far we can go.
All right, everybody, are you ready? Because it's time for your Friday sports page. We begin with some high school hoops news. There was some high school hoops action last night as the Flowers girls basketball team took the court against Duval. In the first quarter, the Lady Jazz got off to a good start, and plays like guard Kyla Graham saying, "Give me that," as she took the ball from Myandra McGee to score this easy layup, helped her team jump out to a 16-5 lead. And it was all Flowers for the rest of the quarter as more great play from the team, like Ava Redmond telling Duval to get big as she grabbed the board over a swarm of Lady Tigers and made this putback shot, and the girls playing good defense like this sequence where they doubled guard Precious and Tittabum, causing her to turn the ball over to put 2 more points on the board, have Flowers up 32-12 by the end of the period. Flowers kept their foot on the gas in the second quarter, playing more great defense and causing turnovers like this one by Sky Blakini. And the ball rolled to small forward Jay Martin, and she nailed this triple. Despite being down big in the game, Duval still made some nice plays like combo guard Rihanna Dorsey driving baseline and getting the bucket after the dime from Natita. Flowers went into halftime still up big, 52-18, and they kept their lead and got the dub, beating Duval 72-34. Flowers will go up next against High Point on January 21st, while Duval will try and get back on the winning side against Wise on the 21st as well. Moving on to more high school hoops news, a team to watch out for this season will be the Largo boys basketball squad. The Lions are attempting to add another championship banner to their collection. Now to do that, it's going to require everyone to take that next step to win this year's chip. And small forward Cam Ward and combo guard J.R. Mobley told me what they wanted to improve on during the offseason to have the best senior year they can.
Leadership, that's the biggest thing I've been working on, you know what I'm saying? I got to control my guys and, you know what I'm saying, help them get wins. Also over the summer, just trying to get my handle right and just have like a playmaking for my team. And, you know what I'm saying, ever since then, it's been just always up for us on the team level, and now we in the right spot.
On the off season, I've been working on my body, working on my handle, my shot, always staying in the gym every day after practice, getting in the gym, just getting getting as many shots in as I can possible. You know, I feel like whenever you're not working, somebody else is, so I just always try to be the hardest worker I can.
Meantime, it's going to be an exciting weekend, Commanders fans, as the team will be back in action tomorrow in the playoffs. The team has a chance to do something really special in taking down one of the NFL's best in the Detroit Lions. In situations like these, it's important not to get too high or too low when going into a matchup as highly anticipated as this one. And head coach Dan Quinn talked about the process during the week of making sure the team stays even-keeled going into Saturday.
I think we probably acknowledge it first, Candy, at the start of the week to say, hey, this is, the whole week where it is. And sometimes I'll give you 30 seconds, a big picture, and then all there is just this Saturday. And this is how we'll go to get there. What is the Wednesday going to look like, the Thursday, the Friday? And said, I don't even really need you to think about the game yet. There's so many things for us to get right before we even get to there. And so just bringing us back to that day, to that practice, to that walkthrough, oftentimes I'll push really hard on the communication. And that was one of the topics I hit because we went not as fast on our first day, but I wanted to make sure the communication was loud and full speed.
Kickoff is at 8 o'clock. And wrapping up sports, the Baltimore Ravens will be taking the field on Sunday against the Buffalo Bills in the divisional round also. The game begins at 6:30. And that wraps up your Friday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports. Good luck tomorrow, Washington. Go get that dub.
Thanks, Simon. Well, I hope you all haven't put away your hats and gloves yet because the temps outside are going to be more than a little chilly this weekend. So let's take a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, clouds are going to creep in and temps drop to the low 30s. Saturday, we have a chance of rain and snow in the morning with mostly cloudy skies and a high around 45. Sunday, expect another round of rain and snow with highs near 37. On MLK and Inauguration Day, it's going to be cold, 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 with temperatures only reaching around 23 degrees. Brr. And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Good night.
I'm Leslie, Chief Marketing Officer of Guns. We've never met, but I'm already in your head. My company manufactures guns, and I manufacture your manhood. I make men like you feel big and strong by selling you bigger guns and even bigger lies. And if motivating you doesn't work, I'll just scare you into buying one. Be a man. Take control. Protect your family from those people. I got plenty of tricks up my sleeve.